to be as fair as possible with the guesses. So
What's up?
that's fine.
No intros today. We're all about the serious business. Just been kind of. My channel was feeling like it was booming a little bit. Like my life in general, I just kind of felt motivated and happy, especially while I was playing Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild initially.
I guess
And then for whatever reason, I guess I should have seen it
here's
coming.
what I would go by.
I didn't even like finish the journey of those games. I'm not done playing those games,
What
but for whatever
Funtune
reason,
says when Funtune prompts everyone to guess.
got in another funk, you know? It's like it's frustrating cuz it just feels like every time stuff goes right for you in life, unless you're absolutely perfect and an absolutely mature adult who makes the exact right decisions and has the exact right awareness to see what problems are coming your way, it just feels like you're inevitably doomed to slink back into either depression or heartbreak or overly nostalgic feelings or fear of the future. It's annoying. And that's basically what I've been trying to figure out. Those it's annoying cuz I just want to play my video games. I just want to have fun and do new things. And those weird deep emotional feelings that haunt me and they probably haunt everyone on this planet whether people talk about it or not. Those always seem to get in my way, and then me, you know, I, like most other people, will seek coping mechanisms, or I'll try to run away, or I'll pick bad habits, or I'll do something. Because it feels like the only way you can combat the dark feelings that the world gives you, you know, death, sickness, uh, constantly feeling like you're not doing well enough on your health. The annoying feeling in life where it's not even a feeling, the annoying situation in life where, oh, you didn't smoke weed for 2 weeks? Well, it's very tempting. What result do you get from smoking weed? Gunked up lungs and lung cancer and fucked up dopamine system and probably worse stuff too that's building up. And you could literally repeat that same scenario with almost every bad habit in life. That same shit ends up applying, and it's frustrating. Same thing with food. Oh, you worked on your food for a while. You've been eating a good diet. Think you maybe lost a little weight. You're at the trimmest you've been in a while. Feeling healthy most days. You actually feel motivated to eat a lot of these healthy foods that don't always seem to go down that easy. Oh, you slip up one day, or one day you wake up from a nightmare of your past, or one day you get a little depressed, eat something bad, and then all of a sudden you're slipping down a fucking rabbit hole of fucking death and bullshit again. And every single day, it's like it almost feels like you're not living unless you eat some shit for you. You know what I mean? And it's just the same for everything: sex, porn, masturbation. I don't care if you have the seemingly the best boyfriend or girlfriend ever. Somehow the shit fucking goes south, and you know, if it's a pouring out of sexual energy that corrupts couples, weakens the man and the woman's spirit, and they don't know what's happening to them, and they're just trying to love each other, but they end up chasing pleasure instead. I don't know what weird, fucked up description that would apply, but it's obviously something like that, you know what I mean? Just take a look at, you know, if you've even had one failed relationship that was really fucked up, or you've seen it happen to other people, it's not hard to see that truth. It's not even, you know, there's no good way of seeing a lot of that shit. There's no good way of seeing lung cancer. There's no good way of seeing all the crazy diet related illnesses that kill people. You know what I mean? So if there's no good way of seeing this shit, why do we just ignore it and let it happen to people? We let people get their lives attacked. We let people get bullied their entire time growing up. We let people cheat on each other. We let people, you know what I mean? The stuff that we just let happen on this planet is ridiculous. Most of this shit shouldn't even be a part of our ecosystem, shouldn't even be a part of what we go through as human beings, let alone dominate a lot of our lives and affect a lot of our lives. You know what I mean? Well, I just keep coming back. You know, it's like, why am I even talking about all this shit? Well, it's kind of a follow up to my last commentary, and I'm going to change some of the stuff I was talking about then. I still believe in a lot of the stuff. I know it was a dumb commentary and it was too long and I rambled forever and it got super annoying, but the point, you know, there was a point I was trying to make about basically finding hope and truth in life and really fighting your way through the deepest emotions of your personal life and your journey instead of crumbling to them, you know, and never truly getting as deep as you ever should have, you know, solving our problems and discovering them instead of just letting them sit there our whole lives and fester and bother us, you know. That was basically what the entire video was about, even though I was just talking about what kinds of rewards I would want for, because realistically, fixing some of this shit is like the hardest thing we can ever do, you know what I mean? If you fall in love and it completely changes your heart and then that relationship goes away, fixing that shit will be the hardest shit you ever do in your life, you know what I mean? And it goes same thing for diet, addiction, smoking, drinking, partying too much, laziness, you know what I mean? All those, fixing anything that has taken root in your life like that is way harder than a lot of people give it credit for. There's clearly a vast majority of the people of the populace that knows these things are an extreme issue for human beings, right? But there's also those young kids, those carefree online daters, those fucking internet goers, those people who just were like blessed with good looks or they got talented early on and then it just made their lives easy in a financial way and stuff like that. A success in a success way, a success driven way. I don't know. And it's really frustrating because when you get sick or you get heartbroken or your lungs get gunked up from weed or you get heartburn or you get psoriasis or you get bodily problems or you get heart palpitations or you get joint problems, whenever you get any type of problem that built up from bad shit in your life, it's always so easy right then to feel like, yeah, I want to get rid of all these bad habits. I want to change my life for the rest of my life, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? There's a basically 100% chance that if you're only feeling like that right when you're feeling the repercussions of your mistakes, or sometimes it's not even your mistakes. Sometimes life is just attacking you. You know, people get nasty sicknesses when they, you know, doesn't mean they're evil people. It doesn't mean some shit's just randomly bad in this world. Um, but when shit's happening to you that way, yeah, like sure, it's easy to feel motivated, and you might even feel like, okay, this is so annoying, even though I'm still going through the COVID, even though I'm still going through the bitched out years after you lose a good relationship. You know, for whatever reason, there's like this annoyingly harsh attitude towards men. That's a new one. Uh, especially coming from their exes. You know what I mean? Like some random girl from your high school who used to be your friend probably thinks pretty well of you, you know, if you were actually were friends in high school, right? And guess what? Your ex, or if you even want to call him that, um, probably thought pretty great of you for a while, right? Probably. Not all of them are genuine people. But why do you deserve to be thought of so poorly by somebody? Because they didn't like you know what I mean? Or because they were just a bad person who was incapable of loving somebody even when they acted like they did they acted like they did, or they truly did, and they still let it sour. That's what happens, I think. A lot of men and even women out there just crush their own spirit after something like that happens. They pour their whole love into somebody, and it should have went good for them, and they still get crushed by the universe and the person's evil, and then they just never recover. And that's basically what happened to me, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew how dark it was because our relationship was, and the multiple relationships I had with different girls were actually, a lot of them were so good, filled with so much potential, so much love and hope, and they all got super crushed by just pettiness, you know? Hoes wanting too much. You know what I mean? There wasn't really anything that I did to lose any of those relationships, you know what I mean? And then you have to bite that bullet every day for the rest of your life. And there's absolutely no way to fix it. And dealing with that truth, I believe, is why a lot of people just seem like they've given up on their life altogether and stuff like that. But basically, I make a lot of these commentaries. I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit on the short side, at least for me. Maybe hopefully 30 minutes or something. I still want to get outside. It's like already super dark. So I want to get outside before it's way too late. Get a little fresh air. Yeah, but it's tough because it really boils down to constantly reminding yourself about a lot of things, right? Every single day of your life, no matter how you wake up, whether it was with the heartbreak or it was with a bad dream or you woke up feeling good, so you thought you could get away with some smoking, or you thought you could get away with some drinking, or you thought you could get away with some dumb shit. Oh, today I'm going to eat all this dumb shit, you know what I mean? And have no control over my diet whatsoever or whatever. I feel good today. I can take the hit. Like, you don't even, people don't even really know they're making these decisions, right? But it's just like your subconscious in the back of your mind, the weak side of it, the hurt side of it, the side of it that doesn't always compute that you're a living, breathing thing, you know what I mean? I think it exists in everyone. There's some sort of darkness to the universe, or darkness to the human soul, like a indifference, like this side of you that would laugh as a kid when someone was getting picked on by a bully, and even though you know it's not right, people just like pretend that it's funny, and they, you know what I mean, and they like get sucked in by the evil of someone getting bullied. I've seen it happen. I've been a part of it. I've done it to people. I've had it happen to me. You know what I mean? Just a weird, fucked up thing, and that shows you that there clearly is some sort of dark evil controlling a lot of human beings. Or not even. I shouldn't even say that. I should say there's a dark evil in every human being, even more so in women. And they hide it better because of the gentle looks a lot of them have, and the gentle, sweet voice a lot of them have. I'm not saying all of them, you know. I think that's a funny paradox that they actually have obviously and massively more of the evil, but people are just completely fooled by them, you know. Even like people who were like massively done bad by women will still like give them a free pass to be shitters to be shithead little fucking bitch girls, you know? It's really weird. And it's like, it's annoying because I have to like reteach myself a lot of this stuff like every day because the voices of the universe, the douchiness of the universe, the devil's advocate of the universe, the cocky, the weird things I hear from, like, I stopped by a stream for a second on Twitch and that's all I hear the girl saying is like some shit about how the hater in her chat doesn't make enough money and he should go out and get girls and shit. And it's like, I hear, you know, I literally tune into a stream for honestly like 5 seconds and that's the one sentence I hear. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? This person's making money with that. I don't care if the person's hating in your chat. Like, shut the fuck up. You sound like the most generic, sexist garbage I've ever heard in my life, you know? It's funny because you grow up and you hear all these things like boys never treat girls like a handsome prince. Boys are never that Mr. Fantastic, Prince Charming. Boys are that's basically how they treated us growing up in the early 2000s, right? And I should say the late 1990s. In the early 2000s, there was just that attitude. You're a little boy, you're a little snot-nosed brat, you will treat girls bad, and meanwhile you're getting like disgusting looks from girls, and you're just like a normal, honest, nice young man. Just basically about as naughty as the average any other kid, you know? And that's just, I remember this shit, like girls getting favoritism back in school from female teachers, and male teachers as well. It's really weird. Girls who were doing worse on papers and tests and getting higher grades and stuff, paying less attention and getting away with more bullshit. Or they could like sit there and talk and whisper in class, but if the boys did it, we get yelled at. They call us the peanut gallery or whatever the fuck that's called. That's what the douchebag. We would talk once in a while, and the teacher would like get so mad at us, and it's like, I don't even think she ever yelled at the girls at once who talked. It's like, fucking relax, you know what I mean? Like, we talked like 2 days out of the 2 school years that we had that teacher. And that was like a teacher I liked, you know what I mean? There's a lot of teachers I didn't like that were even more annoying. And it's just like, I can see why my channel and my vision of what was coming next in my life was struggling. It's because basically every day of your life, especially after you turn like 16, second you want some sex, the second you're an adult, the second you have to get shit together for yourself, you know what I mean? It just feels like if you haven't completely made some things a part of your life, like you're really just operating poorly, you know? Like, it didn't feel like I could take advantage of all of my Link to the Past training because this shit was on my mind, and I haven't made a point to beat it, you know what I mean? I haven't made a point to make every effort in my life to beat the heartbreak that I've suffered. I haven't made a point to actually to enjoy and embrace the healthy diet I always talk about. You know, I just dabble with the healthy diet like most people. I haven't, you know, I could go on and on. And it's like, if all these things don't get right, what's the point of me speedrunning? You know what I mean? I don't want to speedrun with all these little things nitpicking at me. It's just ruins the experience. I'm starting to realize, like, all these things I talked about in the last video and all these things that I want to solve with my life, like, there's a reason why it's drilling itself through my head. But yeah, like I was saying before, like, you basically have to wake up every day and reteach yourself everything perfectly, and you can't forget any of the important facts. And on top of that, you have to live by the shit too. It's one thing just to think about it and process it once in your brain right when you wake up, but then you have to live by it for the rest of the day as well. And that's what your life has to become for the rest of your life, basically. You can't slip up there, you know what I mean? People get this thing in the back of their mind where they think that they can slip up, but the second you've slipped up, you have to get it through your mind that you've basically ruined years of progress if you've been trying for years. Or maybe you've only been trying for a week. You basically ruined that whole week. You can't slip up, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how small of a slip up you think the shit is, it's not small. Just remember, you know, when you get a nasty cold and you haven't been treating yourself good and it feels like shit for 5 days, well, guess what? Should have treated yourself better, dumbass. You have to remember that when you're not sick. You have to remember that when you have a chance to change shit. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I am so tired of letting myself dwindle down health-wise and happiness-wise and energy level-wise and determination-wise and even the feeling of love, letting that dwindle down. You know, I'm so sick of letting that shit happen to me in the background, and then all of a sudden I get sick, or I lose motivation for my channel, or I lose motivation for certain things in my life that are good, or this is basically the root of why I'm making some of these commentaries in the beginning of the year here. And it's scary when you start getting when the bad stuff is beating you, you know? When the bad stuff was beating me heartbreak wise, and I basically felt like I was doomed. I felt like there was no way out, like I had to kill myself. And I'm not like don't get me wrong, I'm not like a desperately crying suicidal person every day, and I do feel bad for anyone who's like that. All I'm saying is that's just how it felt at the end of the day. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to ask for sympathy or anything like that. It's just the truth, you know. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just asking for an ear and for some understanding. That's all, you know. Even though in my book, anyone who was attacked in their life by other people and it's caused them so much misery that they are having a hard time not feeling suicidal, I do believe those people deserve the utmost sympathy, you know, don't get me wrong. Um, and yeah, like I said, it gets scary when that shit's getting you, you know? It really, there's no way to, it just straight up is. Like, what's scary? Well, the idea that you're still alive, but something hurts you so bad emotionally that you don't even, you can't feel alive and you don't want to be alive. Like, that's scary as fuck. I don't care what anyone says. It's so fucking scary. There's not that many things that are more scary, you know? Definitely is, you know? Not saying there isn't, I'm just mean. That's like one of those things that's really tough to deal with, I feel like, but we don't really help people with it at all. It's the same thing, though, for illnesses and cancer and all types of shit, though. Like, we act like we helping people deal with that, but helping people deal with that would be a lot deeper. It would mean not cheating on people, not lying to people. It would mean sharing spirituality with people. It would mean you get a boyfriend or you get a girlfriend and you fall in love and you actually stick with that person and y'all work really hard to have a good diet together and y'all build up each other's spirit so that you guys can fight off death and you guys can fight off illness and you guys can fight off food-based diseases and so, you know what I mean? That would be us standing against the problem and working on it to each other, but just us informing other people that it can happen. Oh yeah, well, people told you growing up in school that you shouldn't eat all that pizza because that cheese and that grease and that breading and that those processed enriched bleached flours are terrible for you. You know what I mean? Like, cool, you taught us that. But what about the other, you know what I mean, 79 fucking years of our life where people are feeding that shit to us and there's not that support network that cares about their health desperately like people should, you know what I mean? And this is what I've been running into, and this is why I've been so fucking like lost in my life. because I realize not only do I need that support network, in a lot of ways I have to like fucking become that for myself. Right? I'm not saying I don't get any support, it's just the level of problems in this world is really high. The level of difficulty that of the way it can affect people's lives is really can be really hard. So, you know what I mean? Not having a very dedicated support network, not having really, and sometimes you have the people in place. It's just you're not supporting each other, or there's not that connection happening, you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't have the people. So those are basically the two things that happen. Either you don't get the support you need and you have the people for various reasons. All that little practice yesterday actually did pay off. Sometimes it feels like you're losing progress on hard tricks. They just feel harder the more you do them. You're like finding more ways to fucking mess them up when it seemed simple before. And then other times you hop back in and it's like, holy shit. I felt like I sucked at doing this yesterday or whatever, but now all of a sudden it just feels like everything makes sense. Feels like all those missed inputs and failures just sort of culminated in clean gameplay that you didn't really see coming at points, you know? At points it didn't really feel like you were going to get that clean gameplay even happening. Or it wasn't going to be possible to do it consistently or something. And then it just starts sort of coming out. Like, look at that room. That room was nearly... Whoa, that was kind of trash, actually. See, like, I don't even know where I lost timer in that room right there. I lost about, like, a good chunk of frames, right? But yeah, all that emotional baggage and bullshit that I just talked about, that was just... What the hell? I didn't know you could, like, hammer right on that thing and it won't work sometimes. So where do you have to throw this, even? Okay. But yeah, one thing I really want to work on is dealing with that scary moment. You know, the moment when you fucking get COVID and it feels like shit for a few days. The moment when you first experience heartbreak and your whole life feels like it's going away and you'll never find that love and connection again. You know what I mean? What the fuck? I didn't know you could glitch something and get a turtle in that room. I used to know that. I completely forgot that. That's funny. I don't even know how the fuck that happens, though. The old community used to teach me so much, and... I had the glitch, and I fucked it up. Yeah, the old community, I think, just... I did... kind of took it for granted because we were just all like super into speedrunning because it was pretty new back then. Now you think about it and it's like, I have forgotten a lot of useful little facts that you wouldn't really know unless you were around back then. But yeah, I was talking a lot about my goals and stuff I wanted to do before I upgrade and my setup and get more stuff for the channel and everything. And I'm still going to do all that. I might change the order of what I do. Because once I realized you can build a new Ryzen PC with mostly new parts for $320 without a graphics card. And then basically however much you want to pay for a graphics card on top of that. And the thing would run great, and it would be a streaming PC, and it would already be strong enough to have strong enough performance to even play 1080p games and record them at the same time easily. And that's not that much money compared to other stuff. So I did want to get into handheld PCs like the Aya Neo and the GPD, and I still love them. I haven't even used them before, and I think they're so cool. But unless something changes, like there's a really good deal on one or something, I think I'm gonna go the route of either building a desktop or just biting the bullet and getting a laptop, because I think a lot of people, if you bought a laptop like 10 years ago, you have a very bad image of what laptops are, because I know they haven't gotten insanely better, but they're a lot thinner and they're a lot more comparable to desktops than they used to be. So, and the prices on them, if you go with some of the budget options, really aren't that bad. Like, yeah, they're not quite as cheap as a desktop. You're not going to get quite the performance, you know what I mean? But nowadays, if you're buying anything decent, anything from the $250 range to the $700 range, you're going to get something that, compared to computers from 10 years ago, is thin. It's going to be light. It's going to be faster. It's going to handle any type of casual gaming and screen recording that you want to do for you, if you're a YouTuber like me or whatever. So it's like, I'm not going to sit there and talk up laptops like they're fucking sick or something, but basically compared to what we used to have, they are kind of sick, you know? If you haven't used a laptop like me, I haven't used I haven't even used a laptop that is new, you know? I just know from videos and experience. Or I shouldn't say video. I've watched so many videos of experienced people that, and I know enough about computers that it's like I know exactly. Ooh, that was clutch. That was like as clutch as it gets. Yeah, so it's just like the fact that I like those handheld PCs. I think they're sick. If you have the money and you're a content creator, that could definitely be something that helps you make more videos and have more fun. Which is the reason why I wanted them. All right, I shouldn't even say I do still want them. I'd like to have a couple handhelds within the next few years, and just to be a part of the community and try out something new, basically. But yeah, the fact that I can get a laptop for, let's say, a handheld, the cheapest decent handheld gaming PC is about $800, right? Probably actually more than that at full retail price if you're not getting it on like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, right? So grabbing the arrow that way is actually really slow. I used to do that too. Back in the day, we didn't know what were slow strats because we didn't have room timers like this up in the corner. But yeah, you can get, so you're paying like $900 minimum for one of these handheld PCs. And they're actually worth it, especially if you got any type of extra money. And you're going to be using it, right? Then it's worth it. But when you look at it in the context of not having that extra money, then it's like, it becomes very tempting to just go it's not as much fun, it's not as new, it's not as flashy, but it becomes very tempting to go the laptop. And I wish those fireballs did different shit, you know what I mean? The position they go in is so cringe. You have to try so fucking hard against them. Trying to move like as the bomb blows up and see if I can make anything weird happen. If you wonder why I randomly mess up the bomb blowing up part. But yeah, I'm still, like, if you watched that video, which I don't suggest you do because it was too long and everything, but oh my god. I'll reset off of that. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna, just that one day of practice really made it so I can fine tune like my 1 pixel down movements and my 2 pixel down movements a lot better. Even though, like, while I was doing yesterday's training session, it felt like I was making no progress. Now I can feel the progress all of a sudden the next day. Like, just making those 2 type of adjustments seems a lot easier. Whereas before I would, like, it would be a toss up, like, was I going to move up 3 pixels? Was I going to move up 5 pixels? Maybe I could magically move up 1 or 2 pixels if I was really lucky. There's a lot, it's easy to lose like 10 frames in that room, and I don't really know how, because like, you'll lose frames in that room, but it don't really feel like you did anything different. There's something about pushing that block and doing like the block dash where you start dashing while you're pushing the block that is confusing, I think. Unless you exactly know how to do those dash blocks or whatever. That's not what they're called, but just what I'm going to name them for now. That's a little strat I started. That's, well, I mean, I shouldn't say started. I started doing. Sure, somebody good already did that shit, except better. Where you like walk at the mimic because it lets you pick up those arrows pretty quick. It's not the fastest strat to do the room, but you get arrows out of it. Fucking A, man. When you're just like 1 pixel off on the hammer. You actually, I did the hard part of that trick right there. But then I'm like 1 pixel off on the hammer on killing one of the guys, so it ruins the whole room. I'm purposely doing this boss like on the, like, for my skill level on the hardest way you can do them, just because I feel like it'll make it so in runs, like, I have options. I can do the hard strat if I have hearts. If I have a really good run going and I'm low on hearts, I can, all the grinding of the hard strats is going to make it easier. The hitbox on those balls is the problem. Like, it's not even, it's actually a good fight. It's just the hitbox on those fucking things is so annoying sometimes when you feel like you should be just avoiding it and you're like diagonal from it, or you're a little bit to the left or right of it and it's shooting out towards you, sort of. I don't know, man. It feels like it cheaps you out. Like, yeah, when I'm trying my hardest and I'm not talking and I'm trying super hard, like, yeah, it's doable, but if I try to chill out on that fireball part at all, it instantly, like, fucks you. You get hit by one, you choke a little bit, you get hit by the second one, dead. You know what I mean? Because you already got hit trying to fucking hammer Helmasaur. Yep. And here's what I was talking about with the struggling to... Did I clutch that? No, it's off. Another reason I'm talking about this shit is because I think I'm on the right pixel. I love how I'm getting good enough to, like, know when I'm on the right pixel to begin with. I don't think I was ever really that good back in the day. If that ever happened, it was just random. Now it's like I'm actually going for it. It didn't really make sense. Like, how can you fucking just walk and end up at the right pixel? It doesn't make any sense, but, you know, you do the bomb jump 1,000 times and all of a sudden it just starts kind of feeling natural. Like there, I lost about 14 frames in that room just for a little bit of bad movement next to the block. The block that you have to push. A little bit of bad movement there. That doesn't happen to me on box. At least not that bad movement. That seems like a safe way to do that fight. It's about 20 frames slower or something. But you don't have to worry about getting clipped by 2 of his little lasers, just the second one. I don't actually know the best strats for a lot of these rooms, too. A lot of times I'm just making it up because I find it fun. I know I'm, like, somewhat close to what the good people do. Now, why did I reset? It's like I've never even really practiced that room. I haven't watched a top player do that room in like over 10 years. I already do that room good on the box. So it's like, wow, that was clutch as fuck. Why reset there, right? It's exactly what I shouldn't do is reset there. Unless you're just going to reset and do the room over and over so I can learn how to do it on controller again. But I'm already good enough at it on box that it's not really that much of a problem. A little bit bad movement, but we're going to go in below a 720. Yep, 715. Wow. And you see, like, I would never make that mistake, but the fact that I'm commentating, going easy, and then I feel like shit because I've been struggling with a lot of sins. And not even, it's not even really just the sins. Oh, that was just complete luck, and that was so clutch. Blind fucking pixel movement. Shit like that goes underappreciated. Anyone who can blind pixel movement their way to the bomb jump is a fucking god. I'm just attempting to be one of them. Like, I don't even know where I was in and up. I just moved and there was no frames left and I just had confidence and it worked out. See, like, that one felt slower, but for some reason that 709 time in that room is actually one of the fastest times I can get. Even though it felt slower. It's like a mystery with pushing that block. Okay, so here you do... Here's my easy strat. You hit him with one arrow and then you do a walking arrow at him. I fucked up too many times to make it easy though. And if you have confidence and go with it and hold the diagonal direction, you won't get hit by his laser. But if you choke and get scared, and mess up your movement, you will get hit by his laser, and that's really bad. I think that hurts too. I'm not sure. But yeah, the only thing you can do when, like I was talking about before, when certain things in life get extremely scary, the only thing you can really do is go with it, right? You can't let yourself crumble under the fear, you know? Sometimes I get afraid that I'll never fix my diet and I'll get a heart attack, or I'll never fix my heartbreak and being depressed will somehow kill me or something. You know what I mean? But realistically, I can't give up in all these areas. The only thing I can really do is just go with it, experience some of the terrible feelings that are associated, and keep trying. You know what I mean? I know it's generic and cheesy to say that shit right there, but at the end of the day, it's just the truth. And here's like, what do I do here? There's no way for me to know exactly what to do there. His movement is random. The tail attacks on a random side. The fireballs go off randomly. Like, without heavily studying that one moment and all of the variations of that moment. Like, there's nothing I can clearly do that will get the fight done fast and keep me alive, you know? Like, yeah, I could have, the second I got hurt, I could have played like a pussy and sat in the corner of the screen and tried to dodge and maybe won that fight, right? Am I better, though? Look at that. Like, that movement in that room looked clean as fuck, and it was like 12 frames slower than the 707 that is the fastest time I think I got in that room. Makes no sense. I like do the room clean and it's slow. And then I do it sloppy and for some reason the block part of that room goes faster. And like right there, like somehow I lost 22 frames right in that room right there, but I have no clue how I lost them because everything felt pretty clean. I don't even know. I gotta start paying attention, like give myself visual cues. Like, where does my Link need to be standing down here exactly so that I can hit the bear as early as possible or whatever. Those bears never made any sense, right? Like, there's no bears in the game, and they never really explain anything about them. Kind of weird. Oh my god. Whenever that happens, I almost rage instantly and reset. It's really hard to do those little specific left and right movements with you're like coming into the room with your sword out, and you don't just go down and hammer. You actually go down and like at the perfect pixel, you like slightly go 1 pixel to the left. And then you go down just like 2 pixels or 3 pixels more, and then you hammer again slightly to the right. And that's just one way of doing that room. There might be an easier, more consistent way to get the faster kills on those turtles. I don't know. Oh, sometimes he's walking away and just missing that one hammer like fucks up the whole flow of this strategy. See, he walks away. You actually hammered in the right spot technically, but him walking away just put him 1 pixel out of range, I should say. And right there, like I'm actually hammering. Oh, that was all luck surviving that. I'm actually hammering in the right spot, but for some reason it doesn't always work on hitting the eye. And then if he moves a certain way while you do that, you're just like fucked after that. You put everything you had into hopefully hammering his eye, and then it didn't work out, and then what do you do? That was kind of a weird one, but that worked. Kind of clutch. At first I was like getting depressed because I was like, I can't figure out how to beat this boss consistently and quickly. And now the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, but I'll have more hearts during the run. I can always play the fight super safe if I have to. And I have the experience on loads of deaths on him trying the fast way, so that experience should help me stay alive during an actual run. That room is fucking oddly hard to get the fastest time in that room. Like that shit was like 18 frames slow, and it just didn't feel like it at all. It felt maybe like 5 frames slow, but it was actually 18. I know that's not a lot of time, but still. So if I could get, even like getting, like that's not the fast version of the room, but even like learning how to do that on purpose is probably good, you know what I mean? So then you can, if you accidentally fuck up the fast version, then maybe at least you can purposely do the somewhat fast version of the room. Instead of just accidentally getting it. See, like that. It's like I hammered in the right spot, But he chose the move, and I haven't studied his movement 10,000 times, so... How am I supposed to react with a 1 pixel movement reaction, you know what I mean? And here it's like, tempting to go for the hammers, but the hammers are indeed random. You can be so good at it that it doesn't seem like it's random. But with his movement, and with the fact that sometimes you hammer in the right spot and it just doesn't work. This fight is one of the... Unless you're willing to bite the 10 to 15 second time loss and do this slow and safe every time, like... Alright, that was my bad. Just trying to see what happened if I hold left. Apparently nothing good. Yeah, it's just one of those fights where it's like... Like, skill definitely matters somewhat in the fight, but at the same time... It's definitely one of the few fights where it's just like, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, sometimes he's an idiot and he just tails nothing and you just kill him for free. And sometimes it's the most impossible fight to ever finish quickly, you know? He's just moving all over the place, fireballing. You got unlucky with a couple of the hammer shots. No matter how good you are, you're not invincible. You can't just put yourself through the fireball and damage him, you know what I mean? You can't make impossible shit happen, so don't worry about it, is what I'm trying to say. Like, look at the room. That room felt... Okay, that was the first 710 in a while, but... So that is clearly sort of how you do that room, but... I used to have the feeling of that arrow down. For some reason, even though I've done it over and over again, I still can't get the feeling down. It looks like I'm practicing these rooms when I segment grind these little segments, but it doesn't feel like I'm practicing the room, you know? It only feels like I'm practicing... Like, that went... Like, that room right there was really fast, but it didn't feel like it. It felt normal. But yeah, the difference between repeating the same room over and over... Like, segment grinding is great to get you, like, a mid-tier time. But to get a really good time in this game, you're gonna have to fucking room grind as well. You know what I mean? Segment grinding will only get you so far. Like, I don't know what happened there. I felt like I hammered very near the right spot in the beginning. But then the second 2 turtles started moving downwards right away for some reason. I gotta figure out what puts a turtle in that room right there, because if that fucks up one of my good runs, I'd be pissed. That's another room where it's like weirdly easy to lose 10 frames. I think I'm stubborn because I want to be good at this fight to the point where I can do it quickly. And actually feel like solid, like I'm consistent. But the way he trolls sometimes just makes you want to just practice being the safest little bitch ever, you know what I mean? For lack of a better word. Because you think you start getting a fight down, and then all of a sudden he kills you once. Off of some fucking bullshit, and you're just like, oh. I should have been practicing the douchey safe strategy from the beginning. Don't really need the extra 5 seconds in that room. 5-10 seconds for going for the hard strats. That's not really what's holding my runs back, you know? It's more dying to him is holding me back. And just like the fear of dying to him. If I wasn't so worried about dying to him, I would probably do some of these other rooms before him better, like the turtle room. And even that arrow room right there. Because, like, that's all that's really on my mind at this point in the run is dying to this boss. You know what I mean? And after that, I'm worried about getting hit by the red bird on the way to Thieves Town. And after that, I'm worried about dying or taking too much damage in Hell's Way in Thieves Town, which is... I forgot how fucking annoying that room was. And how could I forget that room? Oh my god, dude. Like, I literally didn't hold that dash for, like, 1 frame. Like, it was 1 frame short of dashing. So, like, you think the game makes sense in your head when you're just a casual player? Like, yeah, why would I ever miss a dash, you know? And then you start speedrunning the game, and it's like, everything is a fucking mistake, you know what I mean? It just feels like everything you do is somehow wrong, and somehow, like, right there, mistake, mistake. Oh, there's a mistake, everywhere's a mistake, you know? I'm gonna movement mistake in this room. Yep, lost a frame. Could have saved a frame in that room, maybe even more, I don't know. Oh, movement mistake, lost 5 frames somehow. Didn't feel like it was that bad. I think there's probably a safer way to hammer him, like hitting the edge. See that? Like, how are you supposed to, unless you're completely zoned in, you're not commentating it at all, and you've been playing the game for 8 hours that day, like, how are you supposed to react to that type of very quick movement? Jesus. At least those sword slashes, like, I'm understanding, like, when I can risk it. I almost died there, I didn't even notice. Without the audio, it's really hard to pay attention to how much health you have in these fights, because your sole focus is not on your HP, you know? Your sole focus is, like, on killing this fuck as fast as you can. Well, I'm starting to feel a little bit better after venting all that crap. I don't know, I just felt really, like, weighed down by a lot of shit the last few days. But yeah, so I'm still gonna do all the, if you watched the other video, I'm still gonna do a lot of the goals. Or, I mean, my plan is still the same, I just don't know exactly what I'm gonna reward myself with yet. And I want the, you know what I mean? Like, I want the reward to be the journey, right? I still want to reward myself and have something to look forward to for my channel that'll change things up, clearly. But at the same time, I also want to understand that, well, you can really push the top of this block if you have to. This would be like worst case scenario in a run. If that happened to me in a run, I would definitely reset. Even if it was like guaranteed to PB. Because I have magic powder at that point, and if I was like ahead by a minute or two, I would still fucking reset that shit. Unacceptable. Some shit that even is just like maybe you could PB with it, it's only a 10-second mistake. But as a player, it just feels so unacceptable. You just, no. I don't even care about my times in this game that much, but that room just felt so unacceptable that I reset, you know? Alright, you gotta be careful with that flash and douche over in the corner. He will troll the fuck out of you here. You don't got that many extra hearts in this dungeon either, so... Magic powder doesn't do anything. I almost want to stop dashing up there. Because, like, when I'm in the zone, yeah, I can hit those dashes by those bone cages, like, every time. But if I'm ever just chilling, those dashes instantly become super annoying for some reason. Because you really don't need that dash. I could just slash. See what I mean? Like, I go a little bit easy on that room. Like, I just don't try my best for, like, a little second, and it always seems like I'm getting hit there for no fucking reason. And it's, like, really bad to get hit there, you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, keep going. But it's like, no, dude. Just end the fucking run and practice the fucking area and stop making the stupid fucking mistake, right? Because now it's like, I'm almost guaranteed to die to Moth Dealer because I don't have that boss practiced at all properly. Oh, I'm getting fucking trolled here, too. Look at this. Oh, no. That almost made me want to reset right there. You can't actually... Yeah, I'm going to reset. Well, forget about that. That one never happened. I thought I could be cool and grab that heart really quick, but... Okay, we're definitely doing that room like that. But we might... I might change up... Oh my god. If you even have, like, the slightest movement mistake, they go in the worst spot possible, and you actually have to completely kill them. I don't really make that mistake on the box, but on the D-pad, it's so much easier to make that mistake. I still haven't decided what I'm going to... controller I'm going to use for this dungeon, either. Fucking A, man. There's a lot of reasons to use both. Like, I kind of want to use the 8-bit dough for the whole dungeon so that I'm warmed up for Mothula. I feel like I'm better at this dungeon on the box. So I kind of want to do the dungeon on the box and switch to the 8-bit dough right before Mothula. But that's risky because swapping controllers right before a boss fight sounds like a scary situation. Look at that. Sometimes it's not even like your fault. He's actually just landing on you right when you get down there. I didn't even know that. I thought if you were perfect there, like you could always avoid him, but actually, no. I think I'm a lot better at those bomb jumps because I've gotten good at doing them from like as far away from the hole as you can be, you know? Like I think I was basically pixel perfectly as far away from those holes as you could be. That's like the God Fairy drop right there. Where it flies into you too, so you don't even lose any time. I've had that in runs back. That's the type of shit that, like, it doesn't matter in practice, like, you don't really give a fuck. But when when that type of shit happens in a run, you're like, fuck yeah, you know? Like, if it's a good run. Oh, I tried to... The sword beam freaked me out, so I tried to use the sword beam. That's funny. I've gotten a lot better at this room now. Not that it's a hard room, but it's subtly hard. It's a good casual way to do that room. That's a good risky way to get through that room. And that's the worst way for this room to go. Wow, you can get all sorts of fairies if you get lucky. One from the little Helmasaur dude and from the overworld. So I think I'm gonna be better at this fight now because I just watched Eddie do that, and that was instantly like the best I've ever had of him since I came back to the game. I realize you're not just supposed to bonk the fucking wall when you dash into him right away. You're just supposed to poke dash him. I didn't know that. At least now. I might have known that back in the day. But yeah, I know some of the stuff I'm talking about can be like a headache in life. But you can't forget the shit, you know? Remember how you felt when you were very sick, you know? Remember how you felt when you lost somebody. Remember how you felt when you realized you were getting older. Remember how you felt when you hurt yourself weightlifting or something. Remember how you felt when some of your friends from high school abandoned you. You got to remember this shit because it's only that memory that's going to be the only motivation in your entire life that actually makes you make the right decisions, you know what I mean? The right decisions otherwise just seem boring and hard and not fun. But if you understand how bad the dark side of life is, and you don't let some of the ease of life make you forget that, I feel like that's extremely powerful, and that's like what everyone needs. I can't wait till I'm used enough to this D-pad where I can actually just head left or right or up or down and not like accidentally go diagonal. This 8-bit DOE is definitely a good controller, but the D-pad's not as good as the old SNES was. Or it might be, it just might be a more of a nuanced movement too. Like it might be just as functional, but getting straight cardinal directions can feel a little bit more nuanced than you would like, I should say. It's probably a better way to describe it. I haven't really practiced this trick on controller, so... I'm still pretty good at it, though, when I do it that way. I used to get really good times in this room, and now I can't do it. Like, I get 1036. I know I've gotten 1017 in that room, and I used to, like, get it every time, so I don't understand. Oh, almost had the fast strat. I mean, it sucks to operate like that in your life sometimes. Like, who wants to operate like you're always on the cusp of getting a nasty sickness, or you're always on the cusp of falling to heartbreak and depression? Like, who wants to feel like that, right? So, like, like, you have to start realizing losing 15 frames is really nothing. You know? You can do a room sometimes, and the movement might actually feel near perfect, and you'll still, like, somehow have lost way more frame. It's just, you have to understand that that time is like almost nothing. It's almost imperceivable. So it's like, yeah, but 15 is a big number, you know what I mean? Like your mind will trick you into thinking dumb shit. And it's like, no, actually, my movement was fine in that room. It was just a fluke. I could basically do the same inputs next time, and you know, it's not like I don't know how to save those 15 frames or so. It's that 15 frames is such a short amount of time that if you're obsessing over it, you're dumb. You know what I mean? There's so many more things that are actually more important to finishing a hard run than if you hit those 15 frames in that one room. You know what I mean? In that one easy room. That one easy room where you basically never get damaged, and the worst thing that would happen is you lose 15 or 20 frames, you know? I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know what got over me, what came over me. I think it was just so long of not handling heartbreak properly, and so long of not completely fixing my sins and bad habits that eventually, like, I was on the cusp. You know, I was either gonna give up in life entirely, or I was gonna freak out and never fuck up in those type of ways again and just change my life. And that's basically the decision I had to make in the last 5 days. There was so much weight on my emotional shoulders, you know, so much weight on my shoulders that it was either like, now. It's like, now you either change, bro, or something's going to go wrong with you in your life. It sucks. Like, I don't even want to admit that, but that's what it is. That's what's happening to me. It's tough because it feels like I have to simultaneously handle, like, all of my hard problems, right? I have to handle getting demotivated after playing through most of Breath of the Wild. I have to handle heartbreak. I have to handle nightmares. I have to handle sexuality and the cravings of wanting romance in my life. I have to handle things. I have to handle a lot of this stuff by myself. I have to handle, you know what I mean? Life in general, just growing older, always a hard problem for human beings. But yeah, anyways, I'm still working on all the stuff from the last video. Clearly, it's pretty much all that's on my mind. If you didn't listen to this commentary, I already talked for longer than I wanted to. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to upgrade my channel exactly. I just know that we're going to be building cheap desktops. We're going to be helping out my nephew and my sister at some point. And actually, they don't. It's not really even me helping them out, honestly. They don't really care that much about computers. I just want to make them one, right? But yeah, we're going to be doing lots of stuff. Don't worry. It seems like a safer strat for this room, if you don't want to risk it all. Well, that was a good, the way I'd walked right past that, like, laser beam, or the magic crescent moon, Sailor Moon attack, was pretty baller. But yeah, so as far as, like, rewards, because I do want to have some of this channel be about technology and about, like, computers and new devices and all that stuff. It's clearly not like the main thing I care about, but I have always loved technology as a kid, even though it didn't, you know, when I was a kid, the tech didn't matter to me. Just I wanted to play the games, you know. I didn't care that PlayStation was more powerful than GameCube, you know. It was all about the games, but the more I grew up, it was like I really like the tech. It's cool. You know, it's like seeing that people like devoted their lives to making things that help us have fun. Like just knowing that is pretty cool, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't think I was gonna like this 8-bit DOE controller at first, and the more I play with it, the more I like it. And it makes me realize how much I actually love D-pads. There was a period in my life from like 2015 to 2019 where it was mostly the way women and bad friends from college and high school acted that made me feel like my whole life gaming was basically a lie, you know what I mean? I know that's a little bit dramatic, but that's the only way I can describe it. The overly critical girlfriends and the cocky douchebags who used to be your friends, like you run into people like this and it makes you question so many things in your life. Especially like if you aren't as confident in yourself as you should be and you've actually had a good relationship with some of these people in the past, like my ex-friends, you know. Oops. I haven't practiced item dashing on a controller, so shouldn't really expect to get that at all. Oops. What the fuck am I doing? It's funny because like the first 25 times I hit the dash in that room where you're about to get attacked by a ghost. Wow, I might do this room like that all the time. It's so much easier and you only lose like nothing. Oh, I got fucking clipped by that. That whole good run and I died. I'm quitting after that. I'm done. Sorry. We'll finish up a Meyer run another time. And that basically all happened because I messed up something oh, I dashed into that bomb. And then started jabbering. Honestly, that felt like a win there, even though I died. If I was even a little bit feeling good right now and was trying, I that would have been so easy. I like right now. The reason I'm talking about all this shit is because I feel like absolute garbage. I just don't ever want to eat food and fall asleep again. I'm so sick of it. I'm just done with every dumb little mistake that you can make in life. I'm just done with it, you know? I don't care about being perfect, but I at least want to have a good rest of my life, you know? At the end of the day, that's all I want. Comes down to, you know, splashing some water on your face, drinking some water, getting through your current problems that you're facing, and then moving on and having a good life. The other thing is, I want all of these past traumas that I've been through to become something that makes me happy and something that makes me motivated as a person, you know? I can't deal with them crushing my spirit anymore, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the idea of my past always weighing me down. Or even the fact that it has weighed me down. It's like, come on, man, like get it together. Like, it's okay that it weighed you down for some of your life, but like at some point you got to feel motivated again. At some point, you know, those dark feelings, they got to turn into some type of inspiration for you. You got to facilitate that, right? So anyways, like I said, the best thing you can do is clean, you know, wipe your slate clean, deal with the problems you've created. I don't know if you're overweight or if you got skin problems or if you got sex addiction problems or if you got heartbreak. Sometimes you didn't even create the problems that you're facing and you still got to face them though. A lot of times you did. So that's basically what I'm talking about and what I'm thinking about. Is that like that's my main goal. Like that now supersedes, that's now more important to me than my YouTube channel, than gaming, than anything really. All I care about is yoga. All I care about now is meditation. All I care about is eating healthy, fasting, intermittent fasting, not going to bed on full stomachs and getting nasty heartburns. Not, you know, every little detail that I know about and anything else I can learn. Like all that stuff is what matters to me at this point. I'm so like the reason I'm talking so much about it and talking so fast and so fucking jolted about it and excited about it and frustrated by it is because I just feel like I've dealt with it for so long that it's driving me fucking crazy. I know that sounds melodramatic or something. That's just how it feels. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm so sick of feeling like this shit is weighing me down. I can't do it even one more day in my life. I'm just so done. I can't feel trapped anymore. It's driving. Like I said, it's. I know it's. You know, would it sound crazy if I wasn't here tomorrow? You know what I mean? It's not crazy. Life is hard. This shit feels intense to me for a reason. I'm talking about it so much for a reason. It's been affecting me for so long, and I need help with it, and I need to help myself with it, and I need to share it with people and try to get this weight off of my shoulder, the heartbreak, the mistakes in my life, the bullying growing up, the bad sins I got into after losing people I loved. You name it. All the shit is just too much for me. I'm just another human being out there. We're not designed to take this level of bullshit. It's not healthy. It kills us in various ways. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I don't mean to be too negative, but I want to move into a positive time in my life, and this shit is in the way. So that's why I'm harping on it and dwelling on it so much, you know. Until it's fucking gone, until it's 100% I beat a lot of this shit. I'm just not gonna. I don't care if I sound boring or if I feel bored or if I am sick of everything about life. This is all that matters, you know? There's never going to be another day that I move forward and don't do yoga and don't do meditation and don't drink a bunch of water, you know? I want to give myself the best chance possible. I'm so sick of undervaluing myself and degrading my life. It's disgusting. There's no other way to describe it. Chasing after fucking pussy and evil women, disgusting, you know? Being a simp for shit friends from high school who don't truly love you, disgusting. Eating bad food for you, too much bad food for you, falling asleep with a full stomach, disgusting. Not brushing and flossing your teeth really well and drinking a bunch of water that day, disgusting. You know what I mean? I could go on and on. Like giving up even a little bit in the morning when you wake up instead of deciding to buckle down and have a good day, fucking disgusting. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you are a terrible person for that or you're disgusting. The idea, the prospect of that is fucking disgusting. You see what I'm saying? Human beings don't deserve to fucking. Life is too fucking hard for us to feel like that. That's stupid. You know what I mean? The rest of my life. That's all I'm gonna help people with. I'm so disgusted by the shit that affected me in my life that I don't care if I devote the rest of my life to it and I don't get to do some of the fun stuff that I wanted to do. I want to help people with this shit and I want to help myself with it, you know? Fuck sins. Fuck evil, lying, cheating people. Fuck bad habits. Fuck not teaching people shit early when they need to know it when they're growing up and they need to establish those patterns in their brain. Fuck that, all that shit. Fuck the shit diet system we have set up in the first world countries. So much shit, you know. Fuck the money system that's skewed and unfair towards a lot of people. There's so many shit things about this world that I want to battle against, you know. Because all this shit is getting in the way of me being happy at all. It's all getting in the way of me laughing. It's getting in the way of me crying. It's getting in the way of me feeling emotions properly. It's getting in the way of my life. And my guess is it's pretty much like that for anyone with even half of a fucking brain and half of a fucking conscious and half of a fucking spirit, you know? All I can say is learn to hold L's, you know? I think that's my best advice I can give you in this. If you listen to everything I said, somehow you paid attention through all that bullshit. The best thing I can do is tell you to hold your fucking L's with some pride and with some a humble, open mind. Hold those fucking L's. You know what I mean? If you don't listen to your failures and your losses in life, it will kill you. Straight up. You will get heart attacks, you will get lung cancer, you will get throat cancer, you will get something will fuck you. You know what I mean? That's just life. I don't mean to scare you. I don't mean to be overly critical. I just know that's what it is. And it's disgusting. And it usually comes from people cheating on someone or treating another person bad. A lot of this shit would never happen if you had a support network or you had somebody who really loved you or your girlfriend was very spiritual or your friends from high school were very spiritual dudes. Guess what? A lot of us don't get that. Most of us don't get that, you know? We get dumbass, cheating fat fucks who never do anything in their entire lives to make up for their sins towards you, you know? And actually, they're so convolutedly stuck up their own fucking asshole that these people attack other human beings. They attack their friends from behind their back, and then they somehow justify it, and they somehow say that that person was the problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's how disgusting this world is. That's how far we've fallen as human beings. I don't know if we were ever better than that either. Sad. But anyways, I'm feeling a lot better actually, just chatting with you guys. I'm gonna really treat myself well for the next couple of days, and hopefully I can get through some of this dark emotions and I can move my channel forward some more. I'm gonna take it really slow until then. And thanks for tuning in and listening to me ramble. This will probably be the last time in a while I talk about a lot of this shit. I will keep you guys updated though for anyone who's interested in this spiritual journey side of my life and everything. um But yeah, like I said, hold the L's. Give yourself rewards for holding L's. Pat yourself on the back for holding L's. Understand that holding L's is actually better than holding W's. You know what I mean? For example, if I hold an L right now and I say, hey, dude, you can never smoke again. You don't ever need to waste your sexual energy on garbage again. You don't ever need to subject yourself to get rejected by shit women who are offering no value to this society. You don't ever need to put yourself in this position where you're getting judged by groups of ex-friends and they're treating you like shit because you're not one of their new friends. You know what I mean? Like, if you really hold those L's and you understand that holding those L's is actually going to be a massive W for you in the end. You know what I mean? I think it becomes a lot more possible to want to deal with these types of problems, you know? If you just feel like they're always on a monkey on your back and these L's are going to stick with you and that's who you could become. Yeah, why would you ever wouldn't you just ignore them then, right? But if they're going to if they're going to build character and they're going to turn you into who you need to be, yeah, fuck yeah, you know? Let's hold some fucking L's, because holding W's don't mean shit if it ends up you're at a loss, you know, you've fallen down bad. Don't matter if it, you know. I was quote unquote winning when I had girlfriends and they were sucking my cock and making me feel like a fucking king, right? Was I really winning though? No, it ended up in lots of L's and lots of crushing of my spirit and lots of sad days and lots of bad things for my body and my mind. You know what I mean? So no, they might have just, it might have felt like I was winning in life, winning, right? But at the end of the day, no, those were actual losses that I wasn't even ready to take. You know what I mean? There might have been a couple moments of happiness and love and stuff and a little bit of winning, but that was actually all just masking a bunch of losses, emotional losses, spiritual losses, you know? And for no one's benefit, really. Did it benefit the ego of my cheating ex-girlfriend? Not really. Did they even admit that what they did was disgusting? Probably not. You know what I mean? Same thing goes for the shit fucking douchebag ex-friends that I used to have, you know? Did any of them do anything productive with their life? No. So why do I feel bad about being judged by them, you know? A bunch of fucking losers. It's like, that's how nice of a person I am. Even though they're complete fucking losers, I still look up to them like they're better than me somehow. And I still, like, want them to like me like how they did back in the 4th grade. You know what I mean? So that's why, if it sounds like I'm really mean about them, it's because I'm sick of, because that's me killing my soft side. Like, I have to. I can't have a soft side for people who were straight evil to me. You know what I mean? That's, at the end of the day, that's it. It's not that I want to hate people. It's that if I see someone who does something that's straight fucking evil, I can't just sit there and lie about it and pretend that it was okay. You know what I mean? We're just gonna let Hitler stay alive after World War II and keep killing people? No, you know what I mean? It's a clear fucking problem. Kill the fucking psychopath. Yeah, I know he killed himself. I'm not stupid. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like that's the world. Like, I have to make that disclaimer because we're in a world of these fucking wordy, fucking heady, fucking up their own ass douchebag devil's advocates who are trying to pick apart anything and everything they possibly can because they don't do shit with their lives. I fucking hate that on the internet, you know? I always hated that part of the internet. The fact that douchebags basically get to have their way. I never really understood what a troll was back in the day, and now I see that the reason that people were obsessed with trolls even back in 2008 when the internet was still like fresh is because a lot of trolls are fucking sad douchebags perpetuating false ideologies, false ideas, and false ways of thinking about life, false logic. Just sitting there trying to piss people off and be douchebags. And there's literally girl trolls. Like, don't even think that it's all. Yeah, there's a lot of guy trolls, but don't worry. There's fucking girl douchebags too. You know. I was one of those people who like literally at growing up like thought women were basically perfect. Like men were bullies and jerks. Bunch of tall fucking 6'5" Chad fucking assholes in school. But now and then I grew up more and I realized, oh wait. Actually, a lot of these girls are fucking stuck up princess douchebags too. Some of the shit you hear them say when no one else is around is fucking evil, disgusting, heartless. And the fact that it's coming from somebody who's trying to look sexy, trying to look like a nice woman, you know what I mean, is disgusting to me. I'd rather have been friends with fucking Hitler than some succubus, you know? Anyways, I still feel like shit. I need to take a break. I'm gonna get some of the shit handled in my life, all the shit that I've been talking about, and then the moment that I starts going my way, I'm gonna go kind of crazy with videos on the channel again. I'm gonna use that change in my life to sort of facilitate more motivation and more videos for the channel and stuff. Trying new games. That's another thing is like I'm so sick. Like I said, I was so sick of being pinned down by these sins that it made it so I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't want to play Breath of the Wild. I didn't want to play Link to the Past. I didn't want to play any video games. I didn't want to take care of myself. I didn't barely even wanted to eat tasty food. I didn't want to do anything. So I'm just like falling to sins because the sins have beaten me down so bad that nothing else in life feels right. So then when that happens, the sins get you even more, you know what I mean? Not only have they beaten you down to the point that nothing feels fun, but now all of a sudden they're all you have and the fun stuff isn't there anymore for you. And the moment I realized that, I was like, no, something's got to change. This is disgusting. I can't live my life and feel like everything fun is shit, because that's just the worst feeling in the world. You know? Who the fuck wants to live that way? I'm done. If you know, I didn't know sins were that fucked. I didn't. Call me stupid. Call me, you know, tell me I can't even listen to my own advice. Whatever. I didn't know sins were that fucked. Every time I get sick or something bad happens to me, I remember again, and I'd figure out again how fucked sins are, how fucked most of these people on this planet are. You know. So, anyways, I still want to treat myself well this year. I haven't bought myself anything in a long time. So once I get some of this stuff done, we're either going to buy a desktop. We're going to build a desktop for my nephew. We're going to buy a laptop and use that as a streaming PC. Sometime after that, we'll probably buy a gaming handheld. Or a handheld PC, sorry. And yeah, so maybe my last video isn't quite as relevant because I'm not just going to order a $900 handheld next week, but I am still going to get some cool tech, you know. Most likely I'll get a laptop first, and then I'll get a gaming handheld or a second desktop PC down the road. Anyway, that's the plan, and I'm sticking to it. to it. What else? That's pretty much it. So much love to you guys. Thanks for listening to me jammer on. Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about the reward for me or whatever, the new stuff I want to buy, is that I think the handheld PCs are really cool, and I think in a few years they're even going to be a good option for poor people. But it's just right now, you know, you could tell in the next few years they're going to get a lot better, right? Because they're pretty new. There's a lot of new processors and APUs and GPUs coming out that are in the next few years that are going to be a really good upgrade for mobile chipsets like that, mobile processors and mobile rigs. So waiting has that benefit. Even though the handheld PCs right now are actually, they're powerful enough to be a gamer and even create some content with them, right? But maybe they're not quite powerful enough to go full content creator. Like, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't used them, but I would imagine that they're not quite ideal for creating content, like rendering videos and recording videos on them, right? Using them to stream and stuff. But I do think they're at the point where you can do that, and that's why I was going to get one. I just think they're a little bit overpriced. What's selling for $900 plus right now should probably be down in the $600, $700 range, in my opinion. Maybe $750, right? Like $750 would be a nice little price for us. I feel like they would probably still be making money at that point, and we would be happy to pay that much for it, I guess. But when you factor in that you could build a desktop and buy a laptop for less than $800, and if you're talking about the $900,000 that these handhelds cost, you know, it's like, do I want a handheld or would I be happier building a desktop and a laptop? I don't even need a desktop and a laptop, but would I be happier having two new things that are both more powerful than that handheld? You know what I mean? The laptop is more powerful than the handheld, and the laptop only costs $400 and it just has an APU in it. And it's literally just as powerful as the $900 handheld. Maybe like 5 frames slower in some of these games. You know? Once I realized that, I was like, shit, well, these new APUs are kind of fucking sick. I didn't understand how much gaming you could really do on. You can game and record on a $400 shit PC that has an APU in it from Ryzen, you know what I mean? So it's like, I might not want a laptop as much as those handhelds, but it's hard to argue the value there, right? If you're willing to put up with a laptop instead of having your cool little PSP Steam Deck handheld bullshit, you're getting a lot of value is what I'm trying to say. A lot more value. And I never really got to enjoy a laptop in my life, so I know it's just another computer and you can play all the same games on your desktop. I get that. I'm not stupid. That's the first thing anyone would think about when they're thinking about transitioning into buying handheld and portable gaming and stuff like that, content creation. Yeah, when it comes to those, like I was talking about before, sicknesses and like when you start to feel the sins really fuck you up, you just have to have faith, you know? Nothing is going to get you through that. You are going to want to kill yourself if you get lung cancer. You are going to want to kill yourself if somebody breaks your heart and crushes you on Facebook. You are going to want to kill yourself if stuff like this happens to you. At the end of the day, all you can really do about it is have faith, right? If you don't have faith that things are going to get better, you are fucked. So the bare minimum is what you got to do for yourself is face whatever you're feeling. You know, gunky lungs. I don't care if it's gunky lungs or it's extreme heartbreak and depression. Face what you're feeling, because that's all you can do, and have a little faith. That's my advice. You know, and don't be afraid to get excited about stuff. You have to simultaneously be an adult and understand that the excitement will go away eventually. And sometimes you'll be met with disappointment because you got excited for something that didn't pan out. But at the end of the day, you got one life. You got to get excited about shit. You know what I mean? And when you're not doing that, guess what? You're going to fall to sins like I've been talking about. So anyways, what am I trying to get excited about now? For me, my personal example, well, everything that I talk about, you know, speed runs, yoga, meditation, quitting sins for good. helping people with all those problems, growing up myself, and then sharing it with people, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Being in a happier state for my YouTube channel so I can be goofy instead of feeling so serious. You know, I like being my goofy self. It's when I feel like shit from sins or sickness. It's not easy to be my goofy self, you know? Sucks. Feels like I'm can't connect with a part of myself, right? But I still gotta have faith, and I still gotta keep going, even if shit's serious and boring, you know? Even if it's hard, even if you're suffering straight up. Quitting there is gonna do nothing for you. But yeah, what am I excited about? We're gonna be doing lots of speedrun stuff, lots of health related spiritual stuff, lots of art, lots of tech stuff. You know, we're gonna be getting some new tech, upgrading arcade controllers, lots of new games this year that should be really big games for the channel, like stuff that I'm gonna grind for a week and finish in a week instead of like stuff that takes months. Like Resident Evil 4, for example, I'll probably beat that really fast. Tears of the Kingdom, I'll probably beat that really fast. Anyways, it was nice talking to you guys. I feel a lot better. I don't know what. I can't really tell you how I might not sound that bad, but I felt so fucking down. It was just hard to describe for the last few days. But yeah, I gotta go feed my turtle, and I gotta go drink some water, get a little drink or something tasty. Uh, maybe have a half an apple and just have a chill rest of my night. Um, I'm excited though. I want to start streaming again, especially when I start treating myself better, of course. Uh, really want to get excited about a laptop. I think I'm leaning towards a laptop now because they do have a pretty good value. I'm just not sure what I want. I just not sure what I want to get because an APU Ryzen would do everything I need, but if I spend $100 or $200 more, I can get a high refresh rate screen and a graphics card instead of an APU. So it's like that's a tough call, you know, because that would let me do more. I could record higher end games at better refresh rates or better FPS. And it would do everything that the cheaper one would do. But at the same time, getting that $400 Ryzen laptop, I could get a lot of use out of just that $400 thing, you know? Like that basically plays games as good as an Xbox One, and I can record them. Tough call, you know. Like I really don't know what to do. Like it doesn't really matter that much to me. That's why I can't pick. The greedy side of me wants to spend more money and just like, yeah, I want to see what these 3050 Ti's are like, you know what I mean? I want to see what a 3060 is like. Let's spend some money, you know what I mean? Like I want to see what they're like in the laptop, and I want to once in a while I want to play a game on the laptop that I would normally play on the desktop or something, you know what I mean? And then the smart side of me is like, yeah, but those APUs are pretty fucking nice these days. Surprisingly good. So you could potentially get a hell of value out of a $400 laptop. Basically using it like you would a $1,000 laptop from 10 years ago or whatever. That's just some stuff I was thinking about. I thought I'd add at the end on a little bit lighter of a note. So we'll see what goes on with that. I'll have a lot of videos talking about probably laptops and gaming handheld PCs and desktops and stuff. I thought it was really cool what type of price you can build a Ryzen desktop for. The problem is the BIOS bullshit and how it's very confusing. And you're not guaranteed to have the perfect tutorial for you and your motherboard and stuff. So you might get fucking stuck and like have to call Ryzen or have to call AMD and like get help and shit. Like, and then it becomes very tempting to just lose your value and just like, well, I'm just gonna buy a fucking $120 motherboard and say fuck it because I don't want to deal with this shit. You know what I mean? And then at that point, you're not really getting that good of a value anymore. I didn't know how cool micro ATX cases were, or not case. The cases themselves are fine, but the motherboards. I didn't know quite how cool they were. If they were a little bit cheaper, they would be sick. You know, not their price isn't bad on some of them, but if they were just a little bit cheaper, they would be like that would be the standard option. I feel like. But you can get like normal size ATX motherboards a lot of the times for like the same price. Same-ish price, so. You have to make a decision there and it's not clear which one you should get. Anyways, I've been jabbering for a while. I want to go do some other stuff. Yeah, so, you know, I try to boil down that advice and repeat it 1,000 times so that maybe it gets through my head and maybe it'll get through your guys' head. But at the end of the day, right? Deep breath. Hold your L's. Learn to love holding your L's, and that'll teach you to get through stuff better. Learn to love the mistakes of your past. That will help you prosper and succeed instead of overly judge yourself and continue to make the mistakes, which is what happens to most people. Let yourself get excited about things. Let yourself, but at the same time, be prepared for the letdown. You know what I mean? I think that's good for people. Oats and Goats is gone already? That fucking sucks. I was banking on watching him. Don't be afraid to take some time out of your life to get your life right. And then still have the confidence to move forward into stuff. I know a lot of times if you take a break, it can feel like you're never going to be able, you're going to fall too far behind and you're never going to be able to do some of the shit that you want to do that's hard, right? But I think that's something that's also important to understand. Is that you can take some time off and there's a very good chance you're motivated. And if you do well for yourself and you treat yourself well, there's a very good chance that your motivation is going to increase. Your desire to try new things is going to increase. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, you have to have faith a lot of times. And that's the only way things are going to pan out the way you need them to, is if you have that type of faith. But anyways, that's mostly what I've been going through in my life. If you wonder what's been going on with me, that's been some of the tough stuff that's been going on. I want to make it so some of these days that shouldn't be, like a lot of these days shouldn't even be a little bit bad, but the tough stuff I dealt with in my life has gotten me to the point where I'm making days bad and I'm just making them bad and they shouldn't be bad, you know? And once I realized that, I was like, shit, something's got to change here. I've seen some people do some fucked up shit to me, but I don't want to hate people for the rest of my life. I would rather love people who have done fucked up shit to me. I'm done letting that kill my life, you know? It's fucked up. It's not okay. To damage your life because somebody else attacked your life a long time ago. It's not okay. It's so fucked up. It's got to be if something like that is going on in your life, make that shit that's what I'm trying to say here is make that shit the number one fucking priority. That's all I got to say about that. It'll just be, you'll realize at some point that if you don't make that the number one priority, you're basically just cheating yourself out of your. That's why I quit playing Link to the Past for a little bit. It's because I realized, like, if I don't handle this emotional side of my life and the sins in my life, I'm just cheating myself out of having fun with this game, you know? Without those things going the way they should be going, if I'm letting those things go wrong, I shouldn't even play Link to the Past because it's not even working. It's like pressing the dopamine button and there's no dopamine, you know? It's like putting a bunch of effort into something even though you know it's going to go in the trash bin. It's like, why would you do that? When I could just take a couple weeks, get my life fucking right, and all that effort is going to be worth something, you know? It's actually going to be worth something. And most likely, I'll probably get a much, much, much better time through sheer perseverance and through sheer awareness. And if you're decreasing sins in your life, you're naturally going to get better as a person. So I've always noticed that with any video game or any skill I've ever had. If I work on my life in general, I always rapidly improve at that thing too. Even if I'm not doing that thing, which is crazy. Anyways, I'm sick of fucking talking. I know it's been a mouthy fucking video with a lot of fucking mumbo jumbo, but that's how we communicate in this world. Kind of gotta go spout out some mumbo jumbo to communicate, right? But yeah, I'm excited for this next couple weeks. It's going to be tough to really put all these pieces together, but then I'm also excited to get through those next couple weeks and see what kind of fun stuff we can do. Get a laptop, record some videos about the laptop, unboxing and review. Test out the laptop and see what I can do with it, kind of streams I can put with it, and or what kind of streams I can do with it, and what kind of games I can record on it and stuff like that. Birthday's coming up, that'll be fun. Lots of fun stuff. But yeah, the videos are going to slow down for a little bit around the time that this one gets put up, but then they should pick up again. So that's my plan. Gonna relax for the rest of my night. This is already kind of taking a lot of energy out of me, so I gotta head out now. And thanks for listening to me, guys. You know, sorry I didn't get my life together before this video, but at least I feel ready to do it now. I don't think I've felt this close to even wanting to change, even wanting to have a good life. I don't think I've felt this close in a long, long time. So it's good. It's all this tough stuff has been really hard, but I think it's ending up somewhere good is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'll catch you guys down the road. Much love. You know, remember all the tips that I repeated 1,000 times, and I'll update you guys down the road, hopefully with a more clear and concise presentation of everything that I've been going through and everything that I think about in life. Much love to you guys. I'll catch you guys down the road. Peace out.